What a chart. This is the altcoin chart, 12% away from last cycle's all-time high. If you look at it back here, a lot of people are kind of like, okay, well, does that mean we're getting very close to the top, the end of a bull market? What's going on with this? Well, let me just say this. It's the very opposite. And we have indicators on the monthly altcoin charts, multiple indicators. We have a Bitcoin dominance indicator on the monthly. We have ETH BTC altcoin season indicator on the monthly. We have an ADA BTC altcoin indicator on the monthly. We are waiting for these things to kind of happen. And we have the confluence of all these indicators signaling an altcoin season. So hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. If you're not in our intelligence system, please check it out. 40% off right now. We have members coming in right now, planning their exits, looking at our risk models, using our exit planners. So get in there, check us out. We're going to use a little bit of the risk model for altcoins in this video, but there's two things I want to discuss in this video. It's very simple. And even if you're not a member, I just want to say what we're about to look at and the data therein is very valuable in terms of the confluence of all of these bullish indicators. It's momentum and risk. That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I want to start with momentum, and then we'll look at risk. And then I want to look at ETH BTC and ADA BTC, because those charts right now, you just can't even make it up. So let's start on the monthly chart and let's look at momentum. Here's where I want to just talk about momentum. Two things on this monthly momentum oscillator, the RSI, slower moving momentum oscillator. Look on the midterm. We're in this range. This is where a lot of frustration for altcoin holders has come from, especially this one right here. This was supposed to be the beginning of altcoin season, as we'll look at in a moment, but it's been lower highs. Here is one indicator. Question: how does July end? What happens for the rest of July going into August? Can we get a breakout above this line? This is a very massive indicator. There is a hint even on this monthly chart that suggests it could actually happen, and it's the other momentum oscillator. It's the MACD. We just had the MACD cross above the signal line over here. This histogram went green, and this is for the month of July. So the MACD cross going from June to July, you can see it right there, and then the green histogram. This is something, and I really want to make a note of this, that looks very powerful. I know a lot of times it looks awesome just to see the histogram go from all the way red in the bear market. It finally goes green from a cycle shift perspective. Get the MACD cross above the MACD above the signal line. It is incredibly powerful and bullish from like this macro standpoint. But if you're looking at this, when we have that type of move, a MACD line crossing above signal line, and we have it happening well above zero on a histogram, I've found that is a very, very powerful indicator. And so I'm keeping my eye on this exact move. And that's something to keep in the back of your mind as we do pivot to ETH BTC, ADA BTC. I want you to keep this in mind, that this is just happening. So that's one indicator for altcoin season. Now, if we look at this chart, here's where kind of a lot of frustration comes into play. And you can really see it over here on the weekly, right? It's kind of like we exited, consolidated. Okay, that's fine. We consolidated to a higher low. This one, the November move, that was supposed to be altcoin season. And then we consolidated. And right now, I think people are just like, yeah, this is a fake out. And I want to say, when we get to the risk score aspect, there is a very good potential that this move might actually top out now or soon, and we do consolidate. But I want to really strongly explain something to you. That is not a bearish thing. The game could be changing, and we all need to change with it. That is all I will say. We'll talk about it more in a moment, but let me just say that. Now, going back to the monthly, that's kind of where we are though. How do we evaluate if this is a fake out or not? Well, number one is those momentum oscillators we just looked at. Number two is Bitcoin dominance on the monthly is around 4% away from the 20-month moving average. Let's see how the rest of this month goes. Let's see how going into August goes. Does Bitcoin start bouncing now? Does it start bouncing slightly above? What's going on with Bitcoin dominance? Let's keep an eye on that. That is a very important macro indicator for altcoin season. Going back to this monthly chart, let's pivot a little bit now that we have some momentum data and we looked at the RSI, the MACD. Let's look at risk scores. So in our intelligence system, we have risk models for, a bunch of different altcoins. We have Bitcoin, but here's altcoin, the altcoin market cap chart that we're working with in this video. So this is going to give us insight into how can we differentiate this move from something like back here last cycle or 2 cycles ago, you know, your typical bull market high. How can we differentiate? It's very simple. Our risk models consist of these risk scores, right? And if you zoom out on this chart, and I say this time and time again, we're in pre-bull market territory. And you can see this on a lot of our altcoin risk models. But here's last cycle. You know, swing high in the 50s, the second swing high. Here's that first swing high in the 60s. And you can even see that bearish divergence with the risk model right there. Here's 2 cycles ago. You can see it hit 100 in terms of risk score. We're at 29 right now. We are at 29 right now. So, and keep in mind, I'm not discussing any of the fundamentals that are happening right now at the confluence of all of this data. And I'm talking about interest rates about to come down, money printers turning on, pro-crypto legislation we've waited years for, right? Institutional adoption and inflows that we've waited years for. We always talk about it, these things happening. This is the first cycle they're happening. Are we ready for it? Do we even have any idea how the charts will operate in this moment as we enter this new era? I don't think we do. I think these risk models will be helpful in that regard. But those are typical bull market swing highs. And you can just see this has not happened at all yet. If we want some short-term caution, and then I want to go to look at ETH BTC, ADA BTC, here's the case for swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low. The case is 33 risk score, 35 risk score. What if we hit into the 30s again, get a little higher maybe, and then we're consolidating again? This could be a new trend. And I just want to say, what if that's the new environment in which we are in? Bitcoin is doing it. We have a cycle like we've never seen for Bitcoin in terms of the way price action is. Multi-month consolidation. What if this era of just straight up parabolic moves is over and we have a new bull market type of just price action that plays out on these charts? I'm not saying that is the case, but you better believe as I'm evaluating this data, and even in this 10-minute analysis video, I'm looking at how this is all coming together. I am absolutely just prepared for it because it's so in play. And is that a bad thing? No. It just means somebody out there isn't getting like 2,000, 3,000% gains in the matter of 1 to 2 months, right? There's patience involved. There's strategy involved. There's unemotional data analysis involved. So that's in play. But what I will say is that does not mean we might not get a crazy complete breakout. And if we are getting very close. Pay attention. These momentum oscillators we looked at, if these start triggering, breakout to the upside, right? On that RSI that you just saw, Bitcoin dominance. If it falls, if it starts falling below 20-month moving average, pay attention to these things. We might get a powerful, crazy breakout move for altcoins. And if these happen, this is ETH BTC. Look at this. We are talking years in the making. Let me start with this. The RSI, slower moving momentum oscillator. Look at that move through the moving average line after being just record-breaking oversold. Insane. So this is a bull market indicator right here. And this is the very beginning of a move, I should point out to you. If you look at this chart, here's the MACD trending upwards, the MACD line towards the signal line, histogram trending upward towards zero. We are in pre-bull market move for Ethereum. And this ETH BTC chart, specifically the momentum oscillators, signal that. So I'm paying attention to this. What happens here? Do we get this type of move? That is a bull market indicator. And then we go and we look at ADA BTC. So ADA BTC is a little different. And by the way, just notice, last cycle, when these things were happening, there's the RSI breaking above the purple moving average line, beginning of the bull move for Ethereum. This is potentially where we are right now. ADA BTC, very similar. I have some scribbles here, but last cycle, swing low, swing high, higher low. This cycle, swing low, swing high, higher low. Now, what I'm waiting for in terms of this chart is this. ADA BTC, last cycle, breaking above the 20-month moving average. 20-month moving average, we are so close. That is a bull trigger, in my opinion, for ADA. And that's something I'm watching. So we have, as you see, ADA BTC bull trigger, ETH BTC bull trigger, monthly chart altcoin chart, bull trigger, Bitcoin dominance, bull trigger. We have our risk model data, which is kind of like just at the very least signaling, you know what? The bull market hasn't even started yet for altcoins. We're not in bull market high territory. We're not here, especially when you look at all of these momentum oscillators in combination with the risk models. We're not here. We are more in this area, this pre-bull market area. So I wanted to break that down a little differently in this video. Hopefully you found the data useful. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed this content, please consider giving it a like. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you in the next video. God bless.